Yes, good morning, students. In the last class, we have started with the module 4. There, we have started with the vector spaces and we have seen the definition of vector spaces and the condition required to have a vector space. So, all this we have discussed in the previous class. I'll just revise it. As you'll come across the new terms, it may be difficult for you people to go through, but the problems will be very simple. So here once again I'll just revise the topics for 2 minutes. So here vector spaces. So in order to define this, we need to have f plus dot. So here where f is considered as a field which will be consisting of the scalar elements. So here whatever the elements that are present within this f, so that will be scalar. So here these elements should satisfy the vector addition as well as the scalar multiplication property. So here as we here you can see that we have taken V as a non-empty set and itself the elements present within V, they will be considered as the vector. So here V, you can write it as, for example, I take UVW. So this UVW, they will be considered as the vector elements. But whatever the elements that are present in UVW, so they will be considered as the scalar elements. So here having this, so here it has to satisfy three properties. One is, so here we'll be having the internal compositive in V, which is called as the vector addition, and the second one is the vector, no, sorry, scalar multiplication. So one is the vector addition and the second one is the scalar multiplication. So having the two composition, vector addition and scalar multiplication, it has to satisfy some of the postulates. So this we have discussed. So whenever we say vector addition, so here under vector addition, you will come across the various properties like we have commutative property, closure property, associative property, and existence of additive identity element and additive inverse element and commutative property. So all these properties will come under the vector addition. So here, whenever we ask a problem like check whether the given set V is a vector space or not. So in that, so here we have to check for vector addition as well as the scalar multiplication. So whenever you will be checking for the vector addition, so all these properties needs to be verified. So assuming some set elements, so you need to apply all these properties and you need to verify whether it is satisfying the vector addition or not. Similarly, when you come to the second property, so here in order to check the scalar multiplication, so here you have to take some element which belongs to the real numbers and then you have to check whether it will be obeying the scalar multiplication property. So and also here having vector addition and scalar multiplication satisfied, so here will be also checking some of the postulates which are defined here. So here four postulates we have taken, so we will be checking all this also. So here on these properties, here we have taken two problems in the last class, so and we have checked. So here whatever the problem that are given here, so they are consisting of the general numbers. So whatever the A1, A2, AN you are going to see here, so they are taken as the general elements. So having this, so we have tried for, we have verified the vector addition, that is closure property, associative property, commutative property, existence of identity element. All these properties has to be verified. So once you done with the vector addition, then you have to check for the scalar multiplication also. So here in this, you can see that the scalar multiplication is also verified. So after performing these two, so the third property should also be verified. That is whatever the postulates, four postulates we have seen. So that should also be checked here. So here that is being done in this part. So after that, you can make the statement whatever the given R to the power n is a vector space over the field R. So similarly, we have taken the second example and we have seen how to verify. So in general, you have to make assumption and you have to go with the solution. And similarly, here we have a third problem. A dot x is equal to x to the power a. So here we have to verify the similar property for this also. And here whatever ax is equal to x to the power a we have. So here it is given that a is belongs to the real numbers and x belongs to the vector space. Given this, we are asked to show V is a vector space over the region or over the real numbers R. So since V is R plus, that is it is an abelian group. So for multiplication, so here we need to perform once again the scalar multiplication as well as the normal multiplication. So in normal multiplication, it will be denoted by into, as you know, and the scalar multiplication, whenever we say that, so it will be denoted by dot. So here we have taken a we have assumed that a is equal to -3. So when you have -3, so here we have given the expression ax is equal to x to the power a. So here substituting a is equal to -3. So here we'll be getting -3x is equal to 1 by x to the power 3. So here whatever x to the power -3 we had in the numerator, so that is being transmitted to the denominator. So here once again here we can represent this as a positive real number, and thereby you can also say that x to the power -3, it is an element in R plus. So like this you have to make some assumption, and all these properties whatever we have given, it is in general, we just go with this. I'll be sharing the notes for this. Next we'll go with vector subspaces. So I'll just give the definition of vector subspace and column space and the null space, and just a minute, hold on. So we'll just go with the definition of vector subspaces, column space and null space, and we'll take up some problems. So here vector subspace. So here in order to define vector subspace, first we should have a vector space. So after defining the vector space, then we can have a definition of subspace also. So here in order to define this, here we are going to consider V as a vector space over the field F and W, which are considered as the subset of V. That is, we can write W is a subset of V. Then we will be calling this W as a subspace of V. So here it means that the whatever the set we are going to take W, the elements of W, it should also present in the vector space V. Then only you can call this W as a subspace of V. And also here in order to have subspace, so it has to satisfy two conditions. One is the vector addition and the second one is the scalar multiplication, and provided that whatever the set we are going to consider, it should be non-empty. So here this will be considered as the theorem 1 in order to have a subspace. So here you can see that the necessary and sufficient conditions for subspace. To have a subspace, so the whatever the set we are going to consider, it must be non-empty set, and also it should satisfy the vector addition, and in other words you can say that whatever the set we are going to consider, it should be closed under the vector addition, and then we can also should have the W is closed under the scalar multiplication. So here the corresponding equations you can see, and along with that you can also take the theorem number 2. So here W can become a subspace if and only if W is non-empty, and also for all the elements AB which belongs to the field F and VW belongs to the W, then it should obey the equation A dot B added with B dot W should be belongs to the set W. So here if these two conditions are satisfied, so then we can say that it is a subspace. So for that, here in general we are going to take some examples. So other than that vector space and subspace, we can also define the column space. So here column space in the sense, for example, so if you have a set or if you have a matrix, so if you have a matrix, so here each column it will be representing the column space. And here whenever these column elements are multiplied with another element, so here whatever for this we can have a equation like Ax is equal to B. So here A, it will be treated as the column space, and whatever the equation that you are going to get, it has to define some point. So here suppose if you have the equation like C is equal to x1 plus x2. So here we have both the variables as x1 and x2. So here we can say that it will be defining the explain. Suppose if we have the expression like x plus 2y, so since two variables are involved, so then we can say that it is defining a xy plane. And similarly, if we have I'll be just taking the numerical problems and I'll show how to define the column space. And similarly, you'll be having the null space. So if in order to define the null space, if you have the equation, linear equation Ax is equal to b, suppose if b is equal to 0, then we can always have the solution x is equal to 0. So if whatever the solution we are going to find for x is equal to 0, that becomes a vector space which is called as the null space. So for this, we'll take some numerical problems. So here I'll be sharing this notes also. So whatever the axioms I told previously for the vector space and the subspace, so they are clearly shown here. This has been written here, so you can go with. And now take this problem. So here we are given a set R square. So here whenever you say R to the power 2, so here n is equal to 2. It represents we will be having two elements is a vector space if the operation plus f and have their usual meaning. So here for R to the power 2, here the usual meaning is given, but the thing is we need to verify each and every property. So here the meaning is given as the column elements x1, x2 which are added with y1, y2. So it will be resulting in x1 y plus y1, x2 plus y2, and r multiplied with x1, x2, it will be resulting in rx1 and rx2. So having this usual meaning, so we are asked to check whether R2 is a vector space or not. So here for that, once again you are going to make some assumption like v1, v2, w1, w2 are the elements which belongs to the real number or R. So here for this we can write first closure property, that is under addition, vector addition. So here v1, v2 added with w1, w2, which will be giving the result as v1 plus w1, v2 plus w2. So these elements also belongs to R. So here we can say that it is having a closure property under addition. And similarly, you can also check for the commutative property. So here commutative property in the sense whenever you will be adding these elements, so which will be resulting in v1 plus w1 and v2 plus w2. So if you reverse the order as w1 plus v1, w2 plus v2, so it will nothing but it can be written as w1 plus w1, w2 plus v1, v2. So here it is vice versa. As you know, a plus b, it must be equal to b plus a. So here this property is being proved here. And similarly, you can go with all the properties for each and every each and every element, and you can go on proving this. So these are in the general we have taken the general elements and we have shown the result for showing that R2 is a vector space, right? So here I'll take some numerical problems. I'll just dictate the problem, all of you note down, because taking the general examples, it will be very difficult to understand. So here, describe the column space. Take down the first problem. All of you take down the first problem. Describe the column space and the null space of the matrices, and show how to define the column space and the null space with the numerical. So here we are given the matrices A is equal to 1, minus 1, 0, 0, and B it is given as 0, 0, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we have C is equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So three matrices are given. So for each and every matrix, we have to define the column space and the null space. So here first let us consider the matrix A. So here for this column space of matrix A, it can be written as column of A is equal to, we are going to span of, so here the first column elements are 1 and 0. So here copy that 1, 0, comma, the second column elements are minus 1 0. So next, so after writing this, so here next you can write the general, um, you can take the general constant values which belongs to the R. So here I'll be taking Ci as present in R2. So here we have taken R2 because R2 as a vector space, because here we have only two elements. So for that you need to indicate it is a R2. So here I'm going to multiply this by, or you can also take Xi. So I'll take Xi because it will be easy for you to define the column space for this. So multiply the first column elements by X1 with 1 0 plus x2 with the second column elements. And also you need to mention that xi, it belongs to the real numbers. And then when you do this, so here you can write this as, see, x1 into 1 is x1, x1 into 0 is 0, that will be gone. So here x plus x2 into minus 1 is nothing but minus x2, and x2 into 0 is 0. So here you can see that column space of A, so it results in the equation like x1 minus x2. So here whenever you will be getting the expression like this, so here you can see that only the first element are non-zero element, and here it will be consisting of only the x element. So here you can say that the column space of the matrix A, it is equal to x-axis. So here you can say that column A, it is
Ma'am,
going
notes ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ma'am.
share agilva.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay, just a
No,
minute. I'll
ma'am.
just share it. I'll just repeat this. Can you see now? Can you see the
Yes, ma'am.
screen? Okay. So here we are given the problem like describe the column space and the null space of the matrices. So three matrices are given. So matrix A, matrix B and matrix C. So here matrix A is 1 minus 1 0 0. So for this we have to define the column space. So here for this we can write column space of A, or column A is equal to span of. So here within the flower bracket, first split up the column elements. So here first write down the column elements, first column elements 1 0, comma, you are going to write the elements of the second column as minus 1 0. And then in order to define the column space, so here we need some constants which belongs to the real numbers. So here we are going to assume x1 and x2. So here this x1, it has to be multiplied with the elements of the first column, and x2 it has to be multiplied with the elements of the second column. And here in general we'll be taking xi belongs to R. So when you multiply this x1 into 1, so here we'll be getting x1, and x1 into 0 is nothing but 0, plus x2 into minus 1 is nothing but minus x2, and x2 into 0 is 0. So here we'll be having the column space equation as x1 minus x2. And as I told, so here you'll be seeing only the first row elements, right? So only in the first row we have the elements. So here whatever the expression that we have obtained, so here this x1 minus x2, it is defining the element x. So here you can say that the matrix A, column space or column space of the matrix A, it is going to describe the x-axis. So if you get the expression like, so here it will be defining only the x-axis. So if you find the elements only in the first row, so first row ಅಷ್ಟೇ non-zero elements ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, you can simply mention that. So the matrix, it is representing the x-axis. And then take up the second matrix B. I'll just write down matrix B once again here. So here we are given matrix B as 0 0 3 1 2 3. So here this is the matrix B given. So for this we need to define the column space. So here you can write column space of the matrix B as, first span it. Span in the sense you're going to split all the column elements separately. First column elements, comma, second column elements, and third column elements, and so on. So here you can write the first column elements are 0, 1, comma, 0, 2, comma, 3, 3. And provided that you have to mention all these elements are present in the real numbers, that is when you multiply, when you go for the next step. So here in this, so I can write, so this is C, I'll just multiply the first column elements with X, I'll write. So X is multiplied with 0, 1, next Y is multiplied with the second column element 0, 2, plus Z multiplied with 3, 3. So here it is not necessary that you have to take only X, Y, Z. You can take in general X1, X2, X3 or C1, C2, C3 and so on. So but in order to understand in the better way, so in order to it defines what. So for that you will be taking these elements. So here we can also mention that X, Y, Z. So it belongs to R. So here simplifying this and writing, so here you'll be getting the first row elements same baratte. So here the first row elements, it will be simply equal to 3Z. So it is present in the first row. Next you'll be getting X plus 2Y plus 3Z. So here the elements are present for both X axis as well as the Y axis. So it means that here I taken X, Y, Z. Don't confuse with these elements. You can take this as X1, X2, X3 also. At that time you'll be getting 3X3, X1 plus 2, X2 plus 3X3. So here in both the rows we are having the elements. So here you can say that the column B, it is defining the XY plane. So here you can say that it is defining the XY plane. And similarly, for the third matrix, here you can see that all the elements in the matrix C are 0. So here it is nothing but a null space. Whenever you have a null space, it is going to, so here all the elements are 0. So here you can say that it is going to define a line in R3 since 3 elements are there. So it will be defining line in R3. So for B also it is R3. And similarly, just to take to the next problem. Which of the following descriptions are correct? Which of the following descriptions are correct? The next problem is which of the following descriptions are correct? Where is descriptions are given? We need to analyze which description is correct. And also it says that the solution of x of ax is given. I'll just write it below. Ax is 111,102, which is multiplied with x1, x2, x3 is equal to 0, forums. Descriptions I'll be writing, I'll be mentioning whether it is a plane, line, point. Fourth one, subspace. Fifth one, null space. And sixth one is column space. Trace of A. So here, I'll just repeat the problem. So we have to identify which description is correct for the solution of x. So here he has given a into x as 111,102 multiplied with x1, x2, x3 is equal to 0, 0. So here on the right hand side, we have 0, 3 zeros are present. So here whether this solution, it is forming a plane, line, point, subspace, null space, or it is defining a column space. We need to identify what this matrix is defining. So for that, here from the given data, you can see that when A is multiplied with the elements of X, it is resulting in the value 0. So this is given. So in general, whatever may be the dimension of the matrix, so from the given matrix, so you just derive the write the equation Ax is equal to 0. So once you get, so once you write that, so in the next one you can substitute the elements of A and X. So here we have 1 1 1 1 0 2, and X is given as x1 x2 x3, and here we have I think two zeros, not three. So here when you multiply the elements of A with the elements of X, what do you get? X1 plus X2 plus X3. That is 1 into X1 plus 1 into X2 plus 1 into X3. So it is equal to what? The first row element on the right hand side. That is equal to 0. Similarly, so when you write the equation for the second row element of A, so here we'll be getting 1 into X1 is nothing but X1 plus 0 into X2 is 0 plus 2 into x3 is equal to 0. So here you can see that whatever may be the product, so it will be resulting in the value of 0. So for this you can simplify. So here from the you can take this as equation 1 and 2. So from equation 2 you can write x1 is equal to minus 2x3. So here we'll just derive in the condition. So you can substitute x1 is equal to minus 2x3 in the equation 1. So that what we get, minus 2x3 plus x2 plus x3 is equal to 0, which will giving the answer as x2 minus x3 is equal to 0, which implies that x2 must be equal to x3. So here having this, so here you can substitute the conditions for x here. So in the given expression Ax is equal to 0, so here you can write the elements of A as 1 1 1 1 0 2, and x1 x2 x3, it can be replaced as x1 is nothing but it is equal to minus 2 times of x3. So here I'll be just substituting x1 as minus 2 x3, x2 is nothing but x3 here, and x3 remains x3. So here the product of all this, it will be resulting in the value 0, whatever may be. So here the whenever this matrix A, it is multiplied with this condition of x1 x2 x3, so it will be resulting in the value 0. So here we can say that, so out of the given descriptions, so here this solution Ax is equal to 0, it will be defining a null space. So here the answer is null space. So line ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, so here you should have the elements only in the one column element, one column ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರಬೇಕು. So ನಿಮಗೆ I'll be just taking some more examples and I'll show how it is going to define a line and all. So here this is the problem number 2. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇದು? Have you understood? So ಒಂದು ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ Ax is equal to 0, ಅದನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ get the conditions for x1 x2 x3 for which conditions it will be giving the value 0. So ಅದನ್ನ describe ಮಾಡಿ then you mention answer as a null space. So here it is not for 1 mark, it will be for 5 marks. So by observing only you can tell it is a null space because on the right hand side you have the value 0. But since it is asked for, it will be asked for 4 or 5 marks, you need to go with all these steps and you have to mention the answer. And next, take on the next one. Describe the smallest subspace. Third one. Describe the smallest subspace of 2 by 2 matrix space M that contains the matrix, first matrix 1 0 0 0, second and here along with that we have given 0 1 0 0, second one 1 0 0 0 and 1 0 0 1, and C and D are also given. I'll just write it. C is just 1100 and D is three matrices are given. So 1100 and 1001 and the third matrix is 0101. So here, for these matrices, we had to find the smallest subspace. Usually, the smallest subspace will be taking as the null space. But here, you will not be getting the null space. So here, for that, we had to find the smallest subspace for the given 2 by 2 matrices. We'll take one by one. All problems are simple. Only the thing is you need to know how for what you have to find. So first, I'll take the matrix first part. So here we have the elements 1000, multiply this with m, and the second matrix element is 0100, multiply this element with n. So here once you do this, so here it will be resulting in, I'll just write it down. So here we'll be having m into 1 is m0000 plus n00, n1 to 1 is n, and 00. So adding these two matrices, what do you get? M, n, 0, 0. So this is the smallest subspace for the given 2 by 2 matrices. Smallest subspace in the sense it has to, first it has to be non-empty set and it has to satisfy the addition as well as the multiplication. So here we have taken the multiplication here and then it is satisfying the multiplication and then you are showing the addition, and having this we are getting a non-zero elements in the resultant matrix. So here it is the smallest subspace for this given matrix. Similarly, can you write it for B? B ಗೆ ಏನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೇಳಿ. Tell me the answer for B. I'm waiting. Simply observing itself you can tell.
M plus n 0 n.
Yes, the answer for B is m plus n 0 0 n, right? M plus n 0 0 n. So this is the smallest subspace. And next, for the third one, I'll just show the matrix C here, 1100. Simply multiply it with m, that's it. Since we have only one matrix, so get the smallest subspace for this. How we are going to do it for the second one? That is for the C part. Yes, what is the answer for C? MM00. Banta?
0 0.
Yes.
Ma'am.
MM00. For D, three matrices are there. So take MNO or PQR. PQR will be the best. In terms of PQR, multiply each matrix element and get the answer. Yes, sir.
P plus Q. P
Yes.
plus R 0 Q plus R.
Yes, very good. P plus Q,
P
P
plus
plus
P
R,
plus Q P plus R 0 Q
Q
plus R.
plus R. Yes. For the last one, the answer is
0 Q plus R.
P plus Q, P plus R, 0, Q plus R. Yes. Take on the last problem for today's session. In order to show which elements will be defining X, XY plane and a line. So describe the column space. Next problem. Describe the column space for A is equal to 1 to 0, 0, 0, 0 and B is equal to 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0 and C is equal to 1, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. So describe the column space for the three matrices A, B, C. What is the column space of A? Similar to the first problem. So here we have to write what? Three matrices are given. For each matrix, you have to identify, you have to describe the column space. So you just rejoin for another 5 minutes. The time is here. Just rejoin.